So do we get prompts to talk about, or do I just got to riff?
And with that, we are live. Alrighty. Welcome back to the ALLGROUND Podcast, episode 6. We're getting closer and closer to episode 8.
They're already running out of ideas. They had to ask me to come on.
Yeah. We're like, shit, what do people hate most about the podcast? And turns out it was Laird.
Let's get the other Anderson in.
Yeah.
Jettison that guy.
I'm like the Kevin Jonas of the Andersons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if anyone will get that.
Hopefully.
Yeah, so I asked my sister, Lola. Well, it's also Laird's sister. Both of our sister. Last minute, like literally last minute, I was like, Laird's out of the podcast. Are you in? And she was like, and I was like, cool, you're in.
He asked me. He was like, no, you're coming over.
Yeah,
Big brothered me.
You're in the podcast. It worked. I mean, I just don't know if Elias and Temp Thai would get enough viewers again. I don't know.
No,
yeah.
No way.
Maybe if it was only Temp Thai.
Yeah, it's just a video of 2 microphones.
Dual wielding.
No, just 2 empty microphones, but it's just Thai talking. Like outside of the camera.
So the thing about jiu-jitsu is it's really fun.
Yeah. Thought-provoking.
It's provocative.
Gets the people going. Okay. Also, we need to address this. I mistakenly said I was giving Laird so much shit on the last podcast because I said that Will Ferrell line was from Step Brothers.
Yes.
I was like, you idiot, it's from Step Brothers.
So
And
obvious.
Parker said.
And Parker was like, dude, it's not Step Brothers. It's Blades of Glory. That was horrible to listen to. You were so convinced that it was Step Brothers. I was like, ugh. It's a good thing that's just episode 5.
Yeah, I know. Another episode
You don't
nobody
have
will listen
nearly
to.
enough viewers.
Yeah, we don't. Anyways, yeah. So speaking of Parker, our friend at ALLGROUND, one of the students there, a real loyal student and consistent practitioner, went to No Excuse Tuesday today.
Yeah.
And
I learned is really pretty lenient for excuses.
No. Well, sort of. No Excuse Thursday. You can't skip.
Yeah. Right.
Even if you're sick. You
Okay.
can't skip Thursday. That's really no excuse.
We have gurneys and IVs just in case.
Yeah. And a spaceship massage chair if you want to just go there and go back to sleep.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Anyway, so how did he do this morning?
He did really good. We did his workout. So I'm sick. But I didn't want to skip because I'm not about excuses. Not like some, but anyway. And so we did his bench press routine, and it was. Well, it turns out he's way better at bench press than any of us.
Oh,
So
nice.
He's really good at it. And then he took his
He's
shirt
mostly
off. And
bicep.
we're like, oh.
He's mostly chest.
Yeah, he's mostly.
Yeah.
But it was fun. We had a good time, and then it was particularly entertaining watching him get in the cold plunge because while he is mentally tough and he did it, and he even dunked his head under at the end, he talked a lot during it. He just kept saying, "I don't know, guys. I don't know." It was fun. It was fun. He had a good time.
It's fun to bully this kid.
I don't know. I don't know if I could do this. I don't know. I'm doing it right now, but I just don't know. I don't know if I could stay in here.
That's pretty much it. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. What's like your nervous, like what do you do when you're really nervous about something? Like if you have to get into a cold plunge or if you were getting ready to compete in something, like what is it that you do over and over?
I just make horrible jokes. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I'll laugh at anything. Like
Yeah.
I feel like my nervous system is just primed to laugh at anything.
Yeah. Laughing.
I yawn.
Oh yeah?
I yawn when I'm really, really nervous.
Huh, that's
It's a
interesting.
new one.
Also when I'm tired.
Right.
So you don't know. It's kind of...
Yeah, I'm like,
Yeah.
you must just be tired. Before competitions, he's just like, I'm like, dude, this guy's not even tripping
Yeah, he's
at
not
all.
even stressed
Exactly.
out.
It's actually a pretty nice nervous tick because you can't tell. I could just be bored.
Right. I notice a lot of people will sort of yawn in like conversation as like a filler of the empty space too. Like people will do that too. They're like, like
It's crazy
not
how,
even a real
how
yawn.
afraid of empty space we are.
right.
I think we should just stop
Avoid.
talking for about 5 seconds and see if we can make the listeners feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, that was rough.
That was
Yeah.
tough. I wanted to yawn for sure.
Yeah, I wanted to joke about something. I just want to start laughing.
See, the nice thing about my nervous tick is I'm already making really bad jokes most of the time. So people are just like, yeah, Lola.
Yeah, that's just what Lola does.
She just doesn't have a very good sense of humor. It's fine.
Don't mind her.
Have you ever laughed at something that you weren't supposed to?
Oh, certainly.
Yeah, like someone saying like, oh yeah, my dog just passed.
Okay, well, you laughed at that. That's pretty weird.
No, I mean, some people do that. They're just like, they don't know how to, process it.
I remember there's like this really vivid memory when I was really young. I was maybe 9 or 10. And during the summer, my mom would and this will explain a lot about No Excuse Thursdays. My mom would make us get up at like the crack of dawn because she didn't want us to sit around during the summer. And we all had to run a mile together in Vegas. So me and my 2 sisters and my mom. And one day
kind of cool.
We're running down the street and we're on the sidewalk and my 2 sisters and my mom are all like side by side of the sidewalk, which is a bad idea, right? They're shoulder to shoulder. And my mom is on the outside and she slips off the sidewalk with her right foot. Oh. She falls down, immediately hits her head on the curb.
Jeez.
And my sisters just start laughing at her.
That's how my mom died.
Yeah. And then a week later at the funeral, they were really no, she was fine. She was fine. But they didn't know what to do. They couldn't process it. So they just started laughing.
Yeah. Yeah. Plus it's funny to see your parents get hurt, especially if they're waking you up.
Yeah.
Just to go for a run every single morning. And you don't want to.
They deserve it. Yeah. They deserve the pain.
Yeah. Yeah, Dad used to be the same way. I remember even if we would like stay the night at a friend's house or something, it was like 7 a.m. He was calling us. He's like, there's yard work to do. I was like, dude.
Well, and if you wanted a friend over, it was like, is he going to pluck weeds with us?
Yeah.
Dylan would come over and be like, all right, bro, we're plucking weeds.
Dylan was the only friend that was down.
Yeah.
And he was like, I'll pluck weeds and hang out with you guys. That's true friendship.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. All of our other friends are like, I think I'm going to sleep until 2 p.m. And play video games for the rest of the day. It's like, I envy you. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, real talk, do you think that you were better off for having had that in your life? Or do you think your friends were better off for being able to be lazy on Saturdays?
I don't know. They're all millionaires now.
They're all so successful.
My favorite story is Dad making you get the stump out of the ground.
I was just telling Ruby this story.
Really? Yeah. It's crazy.
It's such a great story. Like, I think we maybe have told you, Ty, but it's great to have Laird here during the story as well. But basically, my dad would just constantly give us like yard work tasks and things pretty much every day, and especially on the weekends. And I feel like one day he just like couldn't figure out what to do. And we had like recently chopped down these trees in our backyard. And so there was just this huge stump because it was a big tree.
How big do you think it was?
Like in diameter?
Yeah, the trunk.
Fuck. Like
4, 5 feet.
Oh my
maybe.
gosh.
4 feet.
it was huge.
It was big.
That's like a week-long job.
No, I know.
We're aware.
With chainsaws and backhoes.
Yeah, well, you needed a chainsaw just to get that thing down because we were worried about it, just with weather and whatnot, like being
There's
over
like
the house.
the power line was right over there.
Yeah. Anyways, the garden was tended to, everything else, leaves were raked. I feel like at this point he was like, what could I do to make them tougher? And he was like, you see that stump? And we're like, yeah. He's like, just get that out of the ground and then you're good. And at this point, it's like noon, right? It's noon or like around 1 or something. And Laird and I are like, I don't know if we have the equipment for this. We have shovels and a pickaxe.
Dude, that's a rough job.
It was crazy. So here's what happened. We start digging. Immediately, we're like, we're going to be here a while. And then we're just digging. And at some point, we're like, maybe we could take a break. And our dad just kept coming out and being like, keep going. Like, you can't come inside until the stump is dug up. And we're working all the way into nightfall now. And at this point, he comes out. He's like, if you guys want dinner, you finish digging up that stump. Not even there's no way we're going to get it done. I mean, these roots are so deep.
Yeah.
And he's like walking out with his dinner plate. he's like, chicken's great. We're like, and at this point, we didn't even like care about dinner.
Yeah.
Because we were like, we started to go a little crazy.
The stump's driving you nuts.
Yeah, we were
Like
just
seeing
like,
shit.
It's beating you.
Yeah, we were just like, let's just stay up all night. Let's just stay out all night and dig this up. Like, Dad's gonna be so impressed that we didn't even go to sleep, didn't eat, and we just dug this up. And we were determined to do that. But honestly, I think it was like 11, 12, approaching midnight, and he finally came out and he was like, all right, you guys are all good. And still not even close to getting it out of the ground.
Yeah.
But I think it was just one of those moments where he was just like, I just want to see if these guys quit.
Yeah.
And we didn't. We were just out there and committed. Like I said, we thought we were going to be out there all night digging it up, shirts off, just 7 a.m. rolls around with just like so many bags under our eyes.
Your hands are just bloody nubs.
Yeah, those wood shovels.
The problem, like, because I've dug up a lot of stumps, and the problem is like the dirt gets like down in between the roots, and it's like impossible to get the dirt out.
Yeah.
You're just. I actually do have a life hack for all those out there that want to dig up stumps, and they're learning from this podcast.
Oh, yeah.
So you take a shop vac, you loosen the dirt around it, and you vacuum up the dirt around the roots, and you can actually get all the dirt out pretty effectively. You keep having to dump the shop vac, but it's really effective.
How many stumps did you dig before finding this method?
Well, so we ran into a really big stump at my brother-in-law's house, and it wasn't coming out without like ripping up the sidewalk and stuff, because he has a backhoe. He could have just ripped it out, but it would have probably destroyed his house. So we had to like dig down around and then like chainsaw all the roots and stuff. But
Yeah.
So anyway, I guess end of story is just remember the shop vac trick. There is a thing called a stump grinder, and that's probably the better way to go. But if you have to dig it up,
But real men don't use stump grinders.
that's the
Actually,
child's
men
way
only
out.
use stump grinder.
Yeah.
It's only for men.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, maybe, for when Lila's born, if Laird wants to make her dig up a stump, he'll tell her the shop vac trick.
I was never digging up stumps.
That's true. Lola never had to dig up a stump, but she did, she worked in the garden.
Yeah, I tended to the beets and
she
flowers.
Picked berries
Yeah.
in her little basket.
Yeah.
I was thinking one thing to talk about since you were here that we could get into a little bit is what was it like as the little sister in the family? Because you're the youngest, and we have stepsisters as well that are all older than Lola. So Lola was really the baby and grew up in a family that was so heavily influenced by martial arts, because Laird and I were basically doing it since we could walk. But I sort of wanted to get an insider's perspective, and I'm sure like other people would appreciate your view as well on what it was like to grow up with brothers that always had to train, or constantly competing and doing jiu-jitsu, and it was sort of enforced by Dad.
Yeah.
Did you ever feel like the pressure to do it?
I never felt the pressure. I think the pressure that I did feel came within of like wanting to be a part of it with you guys.
Yeah.
But it was very different than the pressure you felt, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, mostly I just was like, my brothers could beat you up on the playground. It was just like, they're my big brothers. Like, they're tough as shit.
Yeah.
And like, but it was always weird, like going to another house and like seeing like an older sibling just like in the room playing video games, like eating like Kraft mac and cheese. And I'm just like, damn, like we've had rice and beans for like 6 nights in a row now.
Yeah.
We do not play video games. Like it's just, our life was very different.
Yeah. Yeah. It was super different. I remember when we would play video games, Laird and I would try to sneak them at night and just in our room, and we'd have a blanket next to the PlayStation. And so like we'd turn on the TV, like play video games, but keep it like super silent. And then when we heard Dad's footsteps, just throw the blanket over the PlayStation and turn off the TV and pretend to go to sleep. And I don't think it was really effective.
No.
Yeah, we for sure do.
Yeah. Dad was just like, I'm just going to unplug that thing if you guys don't go to sleep. And I was like, oh, God.
He could see the glow from under the door.
Yeah.
And all he has to do is just put his hand on the PlayStation and it's like sizzling hot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was just
Yes.
recently on.
The blanket is catching fire.
Yeah.
Smoke coming up.
Yeah.
He would try to catch you though. I remember like I'd be on my phone and it'd be so quiet and then just door opens. And you just like chuck your phone across the room and just
Break the window. I was just sleeping. What's up?
Dad?
Did you just throw your phone at the window? No. I was sleepwalking. Yeah.
Or my favorite was when Dad would call one of you guys and you would act like you weren't just sleeping because he'd hit you with like, "Are you still not out of bed?"
Oh, yeah.
I'd be with you guys and like Laird would answer and be like, "Hey, what's up?" Like,
I still do that. I still do that to this day. If I'm in bed too late and Dad calls me, I'm like, "Hey, what's going on, man?"
Should just keep a blender next to the bed and just turn it on before you answer. Just make it a smoothie, Dad.
Yeah. Just finished a workout, making a smoothie. What's going on with you? It's like, you didn't just turn a blender on and just wake up out of bed, did you?
You're like, oh my God, how does he know?
No.
he knows.
No. We used to call our dad the transporter because at one point he had like an Audi and it was like the transporter. I mean, he was like
Jason Statham.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Jason Statham. He was like,
Make sure you're referring to the right movie right now.
right, this is the transporter, right? I'm pretty sure Jason Statham had like an Audi. Anyways, brief Audi stint, but yeah, I remember just nothing could get past him. You know, nothing could get past him. He could like figure out something was wrong just by listening to your heartbeat.
Yeah.
You know, I'd be like, why are you lying to me? I'd be like, what? Oh, I don't even know what you're talking. Okay, yeah, I'm sorry. The weeds in the bathroom was behind the mirror. Shit.
Oh my gosh. I remember one time they had gone out of town and Laird was just staying at the house. So I was like, I'm going to sneak out. So me and Bella snuck out. I was like 15. He comes back into town and he like is like, "Lola, come in the kitchen." I go and he's like, "So I know you snuck out." And I was like, "I'm sorry." Like, and he's like, "Well, now I know you snuck out." And I was like, "Are you serious?" Like, yeah.
Mind games. So many mind games.
Yeah. Always worried about getting caught, and always did. Always got caught. Yeah, the truth is always revealed. You can't hide it, especially from that guy.
Yeah.
Anyways, so what about like when Laird and I were competing? You never felt pressure to do jiu-jitsu, but did you feel pressure from the family? Like, did you feel like everybody wanted you to? Because you actually wrestled a year in high school as well.
Yeah.
You feel like that was like, because I feel now you really like doing jiu-jitsu and you're like finding this passion for it and you're very consistent with it, but I feel it's because it's sort of on your own accord now.
Yeah.
No one's like expecting you to do it.
Yeah.
Did you feel like...
I've actually thought about that, my relationship with jiu-jitsu a lot in those terms of like pressure versus just like finding it for myself.
Yeah.
And I think about like, I remember Laird from the ages of like 12 to 14, like did not want to do jiu-jitsu. And I remember like there was just not a choice for him. Like it was like, I don't care. Like you're doing jiu-jitsu. And it was never like that for me. And there was times where I'd like almost wished it was. Like growing up now, like sometimes I'm like, I wish that Dad didn't make it an option for me, you know? But at the same time, like now that I am just doing it for myself and not because like, oh, I feel like I should, because it's like a family thing and like my brothers do it. My dad obviously did it. I love it and like have such a healthy relationship with it. Yeah.
When did you actually start?
I mean, I had been doing it on and off my whole life. And then in high school, when we opened IQ in San Jose, I got a little more consistent. And then I stopped for a while once we moved out here. And then like 2 years ago, I started doing it, but then I broke my foot. And then I was like,
we don't talk about it.
Yeah. Jumped off the couch.
I wasn't there, but the story of the foot break is
I'll
hilarious.
tell people I broke my foot and they're like, "Oh, like during jiu-jitsu?" And I'm like, "Not quite."
Just jumping off the couch.
It was like actually not even a jump, more of like a leap. Like I really just kind of leapt off.
Yeah.
And that's when I really knew I needed to start doing something. I was like,
My feet are too weak. It was just a six-inch little jump.
Yeah. Your bone
Actually,
density
it
is so
was
low.
quite the leap from what I heard. I feel like she tried to like clear the coffee table.
No,
you
I
literally
was
just...
on the like long part of the couch, and there was like 2 pillows that I was resting my feet on as I was laying back, and I like leapt over the pillows.
Yeah, no, just come a little closer to the microphone.
Okay,
Yeah.
and I leapt over the pillows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
story is so
Like
funny.
a sickly gazelle.
Well, and it's funny because I immediately knew, like, I was like, my foot's broken. But I was laughing because I was like nervous because
Yeah.
I don't know, broken foot, like you're pretty immobilized.
She
And
started
this time,
yawning,
like,
laughing, and telling bad jokes all at the same time.
and I was with our buddies Jake and Lana, and I was like, I broke my foot. Like, my foot's definitely broken. And Jake comes over. Dude is like all of a sudden like a war medic. He like grabs a cloth, starts like tourniqueting it.
Yeah.
He's like feeling around my foot. And he's like, I think it's your like fifth distal, like metatarsal. And I go and get next to him and I'm like, yeah, it's your fifth distal metatarsal. And I'm like, the fuck
Jake
did
was
that
like,
guy
I
know?
told you.
It literally, I told him, I was like, dude, you're exactly right. And he's like, yeah, I know. And I was like, you do? Like, how do you know that? You took a year of human anatomy in high school. Yeah.
But did he actually tourniquet your foot?
He
I don't know if that's appropriate.
No, he just wrapped it.
He immediately elevated it and then like grabbed a dishcloth and like wrapped ice around it.
Oh, nice.
Like,
to keep the swelling down. And
yeah.
nice.
And then it was funny because I called Elias. I was like, or I called my dad first. I was like, Dad, I think I broke my foot. And he was like, well, what happened? I told him, he's like, can you move it? Is it swollen? And I could move it. It wasn't swollen. Like, just felt weird. So I was like, fuck, maybe it's fine. He was like, just stick it in a bucket of ice for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. I call Elias 2 minutes later. I'm like, dude, I think I broke my foot. And he's like, just stick it in a bucket of ice for 20 minutes. And I was like, oh my God. Yeah. And then I woke up the next morning and it looked just horrible. It was just like black and blue,
Yeah.
swollen. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the protocol because I tore in something in my ankle from jiu-jitsu. I'm not sure exactly what it was. I never got it diagnosed, but same, couldn't walk on it, had to use crutches, and yeah, sticking in a bucket of ice for 20 minutes every day. And then
What's the
I did
science
break
on it?
my toe too. It did
Yeah.
the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. No, nothing. It just keeps the swelling down. Maybe placebo feels like it's healing because it's so numb.
It'll definitely get
Yeah.
the swelling down. But
Yeah.
I mean, if it's like really damaged, it's only going to keep it down temporarily.
Yeah.
But you've heard of Obamacare. This is Anderson Care.
Yeah.
Bucket of ice plan.
Bucket of ice for 20 minutes.
Not 21
Someone
minutes.
breaks their nose.
That's
What
too
should I do?
long.
I broke my nose. Bucket of ice, 20
Bucket
minutes.
of ice.
They drown.
I'm kind of, dealing with some negative thoughts. Bucket of ice, 20 minutes.
So my dog died. Dude, just a bucket of ice.
Wait, so do I go in the ice or do I put the dog in there?
Yes.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Yeah. Anyways.
To get back to the original question.
Yeah.
So I think, like, I think about having children of my own, and I think I'm going to force them to do jiu-jitsu.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
honestly,
good.
like, I mean, and it's different as a woman perspective. Like, I wish my dad taught me jiu-jitsu because, like, I potentially, like, could defend myself way more than, like, I just, like, think about it and I'm like, God, it's just so important to know,
Yeah.
especially for, like, a small female.
Yeah.
And, like, I already feel so much safer with what I know. And, like, if I have a daughter, obviously sons, like, they're just going to do it. Like,
Yeah.
they're going to thank me later. Because I know that in this moment now, I would be thanking dad for forcing me.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And it's probably better coming from the
Yeah.
mom, maybe like for a daughter, especially, or maybe for son and a daughter. But I feel like dad, like, he wanted you to do it like all the time,
Right.
but he just didn't want to like force his little princess to do
Yeah,
anything, especially if it
definitely.
like wasn't making you happy or whatnot. But that's also why he had Laird and I do it.
Yeah.
He's just like, you got to protect your sister.
Yeah. It's true.
Yeah. But no, it's cool. I love that. I love like your journey into jiu-jitsu thus far, because I always tell people, I'm like, if you're doing it consistently, then you found it at the perfect time, or you started doing it at the perfect time. Because if you're doing it consistently and you love it, consistently and you love it, then you found it at the perfect time. And that goes for guys like Ty too. Didn't find it until later in life, but loves it.
Way later.
Way
in life.
later.
I mean,
way later. I mean, like almost too
Super
late.
Geriatric.
Almost
pretty
too
much.
late. Yeah. But loves it, shows up every day, so obviously you found it at the right time. But yeah, it's cool. It's cool to witness your journey right now. And
And I think it's easy when you start something to feel like, oh, I have to compete, or like, I have to like prove myself in some way. But like you said, just showing up every day, like, that's proof in itself. And like, it doesn't have to be a competition thing. It can just be like, I know this and I feel safer knowing this.
Yeah. Helped too when we like opened up the academy. You know, when we when we opened up ALLGROUND, it was like, I think part of Lola was also like, I want to learn this from my brothers. I want to learn this from my dad, you know, because Laird and I, up until a certain point, you know, dad was promoting us, teaching us everything we knew in jiu-jitsu until we got to a point where we're, you know, exploring many other academies and different instructors, but just had such a foundation built with him. And yeah, I could see that in you a little bit. You like weren't quite wanting to commit to jiu-jitsu if it weren't like through the family. Yeah. And I think when we opened up ALLGROUND, because that's really like, she's been so consistent since we opened it up. We just, you know, now that we have it, like you're there, it's a family endeavor again. And it's really
also
fun.
Like I've always struggled going to other gyms being like, there's like no women here. Yeah. Or like, you know, like, or there's like periodic women who show up, but like ALLGROUND's just created such a safe space for women. I mean, I've seen more women there than any other gym I've really been to for the amount of time that it's even open. Yeah. And like to be someone that those women can feel safe to train with. Like I was like, for so long I struggled training because I felt like I needed a woman there with me, and now I can be that woman there for these like newer women coming in. So that's like another huge part of like what gets me there.
Yeah. You know? So cool. Yeah. It's funny, you know. Like even in our kids program right now, it's mostly girls.
I love that.
Which is so cool. Yeah, it's great to have like to be building such an inclusive space, and that's really because we have like a family vibe. Yeah. You know, you're there. You're such an authority there, and you know, and a person that you know welcomes anybody. You know, and especially women. And then Tina, of course. Yeah. Having Tina there as you know, the head kids instructor, and just also someone that's an incredible grappler that's like coaching a lot of these, you know, these guys in the class, and then obviously being an example for the other women on the mats is so cool. So, I think, I mean, jiu-jitsu is always like kind of like a male dominated field, especially like academy owners. Like I want to say it's like mostly male dominated, but yeah, it's really cool. It's really cool what we're building at ALLGROUND and have that inclusivity.
It's also cool to be a girl and be like, I've got like a room full of 20 men who just ride for you. Right. You feel pretty safe all the time.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we're cultivating a space where everyone just has each other's back. Yeah. Like they're not just there because they're like paying a membership to show up. Like most people that are there, they really feel like they're a part of the family, you know? Totally. They're like a part of the crew. Yeah. And that's because we're always giving hugs, dapping people up, like inviting them out to hang outside, to go grab coffee. Like it really, it really is a family environment, which is awesome. Another thing that Lola is really good at, and also an endeavor we're in together, as some people know, is we have a band. Yes. Yeah. I don't even know if I've mentioned the band's name on the podcast yet. Whoa. So name drop.
Should we say it at the same time?
No. Our band's name is Negative Association, which you would think is like a punk band, but we're actually more like jazzy alternative rock.
Yeah, that's the perfect way to put it. People always ask me what the genre is, and I'm like, I don't know, man, just come.
Just listen to it.
Yeah, but jazzy alternative rock is good.
Yeah. Yeah. When you were growing up, you were like singing in front of family all the time. And it is kind of funny to see where the band's at now and how your dreams, like your visions of the future, are manifesting currently. And it's really cool because Laird and I were like, it was always jiu-jitsu. Like we were doing jiu-jitsu in front of our family. We were competing in jiu-jitsu. And then eventually, you know, we started competing at the highest level, and Laird's undefeated in professional MMA. I won the CJJ world title, and we saw these sort of dreams come to reality. But now it's cool to see, like, as the older brother, Lola's dreams come into reality, where she's singing in front of crowds, in front of a lot of people, like with her own songs and the band's own music. Yeah. And like for me, it's like kind of mind blowing. Like, because it was always just a side quest for me. Like it'd be really cool to be in a band and play in front of people one day, like maybe sing a song or something. And now we're up there, and I'm like, oh shit, this is crazy. Yeah. And then you're the front man. You're right there singing all the lyrics, and most of what we sing, you've written, you know, you've curated these incredible melodies for. And I just think about that. I'm like, dude, like this is Lola's dream. Like becoming reality.
Yeah.
And I'm just like sitting there on the sidelines. I'm like just riding her coattails, for the band stuff. But
Well, it wouldn't have become reality if you didn't push me to it. We went to a trip to LA.
yeah,
And I had just been going through a tough time, and I was like feeling lost. And we met just these incredible people in LA, and kind of just for the first time, we're like, let's just do whatever we want. Like, let's just like, we would think of something and be like, all right, let's go do it. We went to like the funniest comedy show.
that was such a fun trip. Yeah, Lola and I were just like, whatever we think of when we want to do it, we're just like,
We're
no hurdles. Let's just go.
And
It's like the show Yes Man, or the movie Yes Man.
Honestly,
Just say yes to
Yes.
everything.
cool.
kind of, yeah. But then we were driving back, and I was just like, I'm just gonna pursue my passion. Like, I'm just gonna do it.
Yeah.
And we started a band that next week.
Yeah, it was cool.
And it was crazy because Brandon, our lead guitarist, who is just so huge in this band,
Yeah.
just such an incredible person.
A leader for
Yeah.
sure.
Oh yeah. Him and I were like, we were friends, and then like we kind of like lost touch. And the like 2 days after I got back from LA, I walked into the coffee shop, and as I walked in, he was walking in on the other end, and it was kind of like you couldn't even like try to avoid each other. It was just like, oh my God, Brandon.
Yeah.
And I just asked him like right then and there. I was like, do you want to be in a band?
Yeah,
He was like,
I know.
sure.
I know. And Brandon is an incredible musician.
Yeah,
An
he's
incredible-
insane.
I mean, he can pretty much play any instrument, but just a wizard at guitar. Really
Yeah,
good.
he's insane.
Been super helpful for me, like learning guitar, even like on a deeper level, because I've always played it here and there, but didn't start learning music theory until we moved back to Reno and before I opened the gym. But having him there, it's like helps me, accelerate my learning, which is so cool. But yeah, it was really funny how it all worked out. Cause like Lola said, like on our drive back after that trip, she had just decided right then and there. She was like, I just want to pursue music. Like I actually want to give it a shot. And then the moment we got back, like things just started falling into place. We had the full band assembled, and then we never missed a practice. Like unless it was some sort of emergency, we never missed a practice. And we just started out with Thursdays, and then we added Sundays. Never missed a practice, and had our first show lined up, and that was crazy.
Which Elias you just went for. It was so funny. We were like, we are not ready for a show. And Elias was like, well, I kind of booked it.
Just message this person.
We were like, all right. And sure enough, I mean, I feel like we needed that like push.
Yeah. That's sort of what I think. You just need to take that leap.
So your practices originally were on Thursdays only?
Yeah, I believe so.
You could call them no excuse Thursdays.
I was going to say.
There we go.
I was going to say, Thursdays are magical.
Yeah, Thursdays are magical.
I do love a Thursday.
It's so funny because we were also just having this conversation about everyone's favorite day of the week. And I think Thursdays were unanimous, at least for Ruby.
That's their day off too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wednesday.
But it's like,
Wednesday, Thursday. Yeah.
it's the day after hump day, right? It's
Right.
Right.
you feel like you're on the downhill, you've kind of made it once you're there.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's almost the weekend.
It's like a pat on the back.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So anyways, no excuse Thursdays applied to the band for sure. And then, that first show, you always just got to jump in,
Yeah.
you just got to pull someone's got to pull the trigger, and I felt like that I could do that. I was like, I'm just going to message this, this person and it was funny cause it was a coffee shop actually. And they were like, hey, a band pulled out. We'll pay for someone to fill in next weekend. And we were actually traveling that weekend. And I was like, we can't do next, but we can do the week after. And then he was just like, okay, done. You guys are on.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, here we go. We're actually playing a show. I was so nervous.
Dude,
oh my gosh.
You're telling me. It's so funny thinking about that first night. Like, I've definitely messed up a few lyrics. Like, you think you write your own music, you think you know your songs, and then you get in front of a stage and you're like, I don't know what I wrote.
Yeah, but it's not as bad as like going up and messing up the Star Spangled Banner or something.
Yeah, I guess
because
that's
everybody
true.
knows the lyrics, and if you get them wrong, everybody's like, But if it's your song, they don't know.
Yeah.
You just play it off,
and you can kind of just hum them or just
I'm
gibberish.
Step away from the mic a bit. Yeah.
It's not even on. Yeah.
No. You know what's funny though is a lot of people when they join or they come in and try jiu-jitsu, they're nervous at that level.
Yeah.
They're so nervous. I mean, Malachi told me that
I love Malachi.
He was super
Me and
worried.
Peter love Malachi.
He's
yeah.
awesome. Malachi's so good.
He was like, I thought everybody was just going to laugh at me. And I'm like, what?
Imagine how crazy that would be.
Yeah.
If you went and tried jiu-jitsu and I was like, dude, you suck.
Oh my God, I can't believe you're here. I know. Leave.
I see another reel coming.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Your worst nightmares. in
Yeah,
jiu-jitsu.
that's a good one.
What are you doing? Oh.
Well, I already tried a worst nightmares in jiu-jitsu and it kind of flopped.
Yeah.
Okay, well, this
Yeah.
will maybe be the better one.
This one will be better for sure. If Laird directs it. Yeah. If I direct it, only Ty's going to like it.
I got your back, bro.
Thanks, brother.
I like your
Thanks.
stuff.
Thanks, bro.
I think
Yeah.
with jiu-jitsu being such a intimidating thing, like you were talking about, that's why it creates such a family community, because like you can't do that sort of thing without being like, I really respect and care about this person.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, and that's why it's just like that. It builds deeper than just like, oh yeah, like I see him and I train with them. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like it gets deeper than that because it's such an intimate, like vulnerable sport, I think.
Yeah. And there's an environment where everyone's either like high-fiving or hugging after rolling and training, and it's already such an intimate sport. I mean,
Yeah.
you're cuddle fighting
Yeah.
basically. But yeah, just like people are embracing, you know, people high five, they hug a lot, you know, and it's really cool. Yeah.
All right, so let me throw this out there then, since we got all these kumbaya feelings. You've been doing this a long time. You've met some weirdos, some
Yeah.
super weirdos. I don't want you to like call anybody out or
Yeah.
anything like that, but let me ask you this: do you think that those weirdos that show up to gyms, they don't just leave because the culture at the gym isn't like a good culture? Or do you think that just every once in a while, you know, interloping weirdos will show up at gyms?
Yeah, I think that's just the nature of martial arts is you're going to get some weirdos.
Those power hungry people.
Why do you look at me like that when you say weirdos?
Get some freaks.
Yeah. As you're saying this, I'm like, yeah, Ty, there's definitely some weirdos coming to the academy. No, but I think you're just going to naturally like, you know, get some weirdos that are into martial arts or not even really sure about, you know, jiu-jitsu in its modern age, you know, and they're thinking it's some sort of like weird old Japanese art, you know.
You mean like a 26-year-old guy that watches a lot of anime and has a samurai sword, a lot of anime tattoos, that kind of guy?
Yeah. Laird's the epitome of what's weird about jiu-jitsu. Yeah. Luckily, the anime is not even weird anymore. It's so popular.
it's true.
It's
pretty
weird if
mainstream.
you're not into it.
Yeah,
now.
people are like,
when I
"What?
tell
You don't watch
people I don't watch,
anime?"
I tell people that they're like,
Yeah.
wow,
What's
Just-
wrong with
yeah.
you? Yeah. But I also think like the instructors, you know, and their sort of like internal group, they create the space, they create the energy. And someone that's weird or maybe has bad intentions or is either going to be enlightened by that and they're gonna be like, oh, okay, well, this is how people treat each other, you know? This is them setting their ego aside. Or it's just gonna, you know, sort of kick those people out.
They'll just naturally
Yeah,
feel
they'll
like they just don't really belong.
Yeah, they'll just naturally
leave.
feel like they don't belong for sure. And I've definitely been in situations where at other academies, not our own, but at other academies, people have been asked to leave, you know, because they just can't set their ego aside. They're honestly just a danger to those around them. They're willing to hurt their training partners. And it's important that, yeah, you have a conversation with that, you make it known. But yeah, I've seen a lot of instructors just have to kick people out. You know?
I mean, that was one of the first things after every class, you know, Ty, we line up and Elias and Laird will maybe say a few things, mostly just like a good job today. But one of the first things you said during the first week of classes was like, you leave your ego at the door. Like that's the kind of gym we are. And like, that was huge. I was like, you don't necessarily hear coaches, at least I haven't, make that a point.
And yeah, it really is about the authority in the space. I mean, a lot of instructors, just because it's funny, a lot of instructors, a lot of people in jiu-jitsu are like avoid confrontation, you know, like serious conversations or just being like, oh, you shouldn't do that. they're good at coaching, you know, they're good at what they do, but they're not really good at like managing relationships and managing people so well. And I feel like that's something Laird is really good at, and you know, I do my best at, but just being upfront and straightforward right away, and correcting people, you know, like for example, you don't celebrate when you beat someone in the academy. You literally, you don't celebrate, you know, you just
I think the opposite,
handshake.
celebrating when somebody gets the better of you, like,
Yeah.
nice job. Like that was awesome.
Totally.
Exactly.
Because you want everybody to win and you want everybody to do well. And yeah, you're trying to win a role or whatever, but yeah, like rubbing it in people's faces, that's totally the right vibe.
Yeah. And you just have to be that coach. And hopefully you're that type of person as a coach where you are leaving your ego at the door. You're there to better yourself and the community around you. Like you have, you know, an ultimate goal of becoming the best version of yourself, which I feel like Laird and I do, just being young martial artists, still like trying to pursue our dreams, our passions. Like we want to be open-minded and open-hearted, and be an example for people. And so, yeah, when people, you know, say something stupid or there's like an ego-filled, you know, something happening, you know, like someone's being boastful or anything, like we just correct it right away. Just like, hey man, none of that here, none of that here. You know, we respect each other. You know, we're taking care of each other. Like we want to make sure that we're all coming back the next day, getting better.
I mean, there's always exceptions, right? Like when Tiha rolls with you guys, you always have to rub his nose in it. You know? But that's a very
There's
specific
some people that you
situation.
just got to really beat up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but it's all good because they know that, and they're gonna keep coming back no matter what. Yeah, so we're building a great space. I really love it. But and at this point, it's not even Laird and I. You know, it's the crew that's already there. It's people like Lola, people like Ty, people that are like also fostering that environment.
You get that snowball effect. You just have to set it in motion and nurture it. Like you'll have to make corrections.
Yeah.
Have to course correct here and there, but it's not all on you.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it helps. It helps when, like, the old saying, if you build it, they will come. And I feel like, okay, we built it. We've attracted the people that we really like. We're not really attracting anyone that we don't want there, you know?
Yeah.
And I think the brand sort of speaks for itself, you know, inclusive, safe space, fun, family-friendly environment. Like when people see that on the website and our header image is Lola doing jiu-jitsu, like people see a woman, they're already sort of understanding that they're going into hopefully a safe space. And some of those fears can be, you know, nullified before they even hit the mats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, let's go back. You said if you build it, they will come. What movie is that from?
That is from Christ.
It's from, so I'll give you a hint. Kevin Costner. Oh, come on, man.
Dude, man, you're the movie guy.
Field of
Seven.
Dreams.
Field of Dreams. Yeah.
7? Kevin Costner's not even in 7.
Oh shit. I'm thinking of Kevin Spacey.
There you go. There you go. Yes.
Yeah. Field of Dreams. Well,
All right.
yeah. Any final thoughts, Lola? We've been going for about
I'm just happy to
45
be
minutes.
here. I'm just,
We got a show tonight. Lola and I have a show. It's gonna be our last show.
December.
I think we have one in December, but this is one. It's one of the last until we just start to focus on the album,
On
right?
recording.
Yeah.
Well, EP.
EP. Yeah. Putting together an EP.
What does EP stand for?
I don't even know.
I Googled this recently. And I don't remember.
And I'm not quizzing you. I really don't know.
There's
No,
also
yeah,
an LP.
Right.
I just know Brandon.
Is it-
Every time I say album, he's like EP. But I'm
Is
like,
it a portfolio? Is it something portfolio?
I
Because
feel
like
like
an
it's
LP
just,
would be like a limited portfolio of music.
EPs are usually like one or like maybe 3 songs or something like that. Is that?
yeah, they're like 3 to 4 songs. Yeah.
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 Yeah. Well, we're gonna be releasing 5 or 6 songs on the EP, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's up to Lola and Brandon.
Now that it's all digital, is it really even an album anymore? It's just a playlist, right?
Yeah. Well, we
Shit,
could get.
man, that's deep. Should we take 5 seconds of silence for that?
Yeah. All right, yeah, cool. And with that, thanks for tuning into the All Ground podcast featuring Lola, who's way better than Laird, I think.
Yeah, I think. I
I'm
mean,
getting paid for this, right?
Ty?
yeah, I will see what's in my wallet.
Okay, good.
Cool. Costco gift card, which would be sick.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm not
yeah.
even complaining.
Yeah,
We pay our guests to come on.
yeah. All right, y'all.
Peace.
Peace.